Oliver Twist is an orphan born in a workhouse. He is between the ages of 9 and 12 and does not know his true identity. This is because of Old Sally. Old Sally is an elderly pauper who serves as a nurse at Oliver's birth. She steals Agnes's gold locket, the only clue to Oliver's identity. While in the orphanage, Oliver is taken care of by Mrs. Corney, the matron of the workhouse where Oliver is born. She is a hypocritical, callous, and materialistic lady, and eventually marries Mr. Bumble. He tries to instill fear into the kids in order to control them. While at the workhouse, Oliver almost becomes apprenticed to Mr. Gamfield, the chimney sweep. He ends up being apprenticed to Mr. Sowerberry, the undertaker, who has another apprentice named Noah, who at one point claimed that Oliver was about to kill him, after he had insulted Oliver's mother. Then Charlotte, the Sowerberry's maid, who had been in a romance with Noah, backed Noah up in his accusations against Oliver. Oliver then flees the Sowerberry's household. He decides to journey to London, and on his way he runs into Jack Dawkins, who is also known as the Artful Dodger. He dresses and talks like an old man, and is the one to eventually introduce Oliver to Fagin, who is a career criminal that takes in homeless boys and trains them to be pickpockets. Fagin himself never actually commits a crime. He employs others to do so. While with Fagin, Oliver also meets Charlie Bates, another pickpocket. He is referred to throughout the story as Master Bates. Oliver also meets a brutal man named Bill Sikes, who is a professional burglar. He has a stupid dog named Bullseye, who he treats with cruelty, and yet the dog still dies with him at the end of the story. Bill Sikes' worst act is when he kills Nancy after thinking that she had betrayed him and given him away. Nancy is a prostitute and one of Fagin's former pickpockets. All the children that work for Fagin adore her, and she often defended Oliver from Sikes' abuse. She eventually gives her life over for Oliver, when Sikes murders her for hearing that she had revealed Monk's plot. Monk is in fact Oliver's older brother, and wishes to get rid of Oliver so as to obtain all of Mr. Brownlow's fortune. Mr. Brownlow is a well-off gentleman who is Oliver's first benefactor, and turns out to be Oliver's grandfather. They meet when Oliver gets caught for the handkerchief that Master Bates and Dodger had stolen from Mr. Brownlow. Mr. Fang was the one overseeing the trial of Oliver and Mr. Brownlow, after which Oliver was released into Mr. Brownlow's care. That is where he met Mrs. Bedwin, the kind-hearted housekeeper, and Mr. Grimwig, the one who always doubted Oliver's loyalty. While returning a book from Mr. Brownlow, Oliver was abducted by Nancy and Sikes. He was forced to rob a house with Monks and Sikes, but ended up getting shot. He was left on a doorstep and was taken care of by Rose Maylie, who showed great compassion, even though she didn't know that he was her nephew. Mr. Leaford was Oliver and Monk's father, who had died long before Oliver's birth. Agnes Fleming was Oliver's mother, who had fallen in love with Mr. Leaford and became pregnant with Oliver. She chose to die anonymously in a workhouse rather than stain her family's reputation, which is how Oliver came into the care of Mr. Bumble and Mrs. Corney.